Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and implacable desert, a solitary bird found itself lost among the expanses of sand and rock. His wings, once majestic and vigorous, were now fatigued and heavy, unable to lift him above the aridity of the desert. His body, weak and hungry, desperately craved some water and food to refresh itself and find the strength to fly again. In its solitude, the bird lamented its miserable existence, feeling abandoned and devoid of hope. Every whisper of the wind seemed like an echo of his agony, as the desert devoured his spirit, leaving him vulnerable and exhausted. As night fell, the bird found itself enveloped in the freezing, desolate darkness of the desert. Fear and helplessness enveloped him like a cloak as he tried in vain to soar to safety. But his wings, now weak, were unable to lift him from the treacherous sands that imprisoned him. In a moment of desperation, the bird looked up at the starry sky and began to cry out to the heavens, "Why, God, why have you abandoned me? What have I done to deserve this misery? I have always been a good bird, I should have had a better life, but instead I find myself here, condemned to endless suffering. I would rather die than continue in this state." His words of pain and anger were lost in the implacable silence of the desert, but suddenly a light appeared in the darkness. An angel, moved by the bird's suffering, approached with sweetness and compassion. In a soft, reassuring voice, the angel whispered, "Do not be afraid, little friend, you are not alone. I am here for you." The bird, surprised and confused, raised his eyes to peer into the angel's face and stammered, "Who are you?" The angel smiled kindly and replied, "I am a messenger sent to bring comfort and hope to those who suffer." A feeling of peace and warmth enveloped the bird as it listened to the angel's words. For the first time in a long time, he felt a glimmer of hope awaken in his heart. In a small voice, he asked the angel, "Could you please ask God why he abandoned me? And when will my torment end? I feel so tired, so close to giving up." The angel nodded in understanding and offered to carry the message of supplication before the heavenly throne. He walked away gracefully, leaving the bird alone with its thoughts and anguish. When the angel came before God, he told him the sad story of the bird, begging him to put an end to his torment. God, in his infinite knowledge, answered in a grave voice, "The fate of this bird is marked in the book of life. It must bear the burden of its endless suffering, for so it is written." The angel, his heart filled with pain, pleaded, "But Lord, is there no hope for him? Can we do nothing to ease his pain?" God, with a compassionate look, replied, "There is a way, but it is a difficult and arduous road. Tell the bird to give up its complaints for 21 days and nights. Instead, he must express gratitude for every moment of life. Only then will he find the key to ending his pain." The angel nodded, accepting God's will, and returned to the desert to convey the message to the bird. Gently and firmly, he communicated God's will to the bird and urged it to accept the challenge. With a mixture of hope and resignation, the bird tested himself, knowing that he had no choice but to persevere. Days passed, and the bird struggled to keep the flame of gratitude alive in its heart. Whenever the pain threatened to overwhelm him, he devoutly repeated the words prescribed by God, "Thank you, God, for everything." It was a constant struggle, but the bird did not give up. And so, after 21 days and nights of sacrifice and perseverance, an extraordinary change occurred in the desert. The bird's feathers strengthened, giving it greater protection against the scorching sun and freezing winds of the night. A small plant sprouted from the barren earth, bringing life and hope to an otherwise desolate place. But the real wonder happened in the heart of the bird. In the midst of his gratitude and his renunciation of pain, he discovered a new inner strength that enabled him to find joy and contentment even in the most adverse circumstances. Every day became a precious gift to appreciate, every moment a blessing to celebrate. When the angel returned to the desert to observe the progress, he was speechless at the bird's transformation. His inner light shone brighter than ever, radiating hope and joy in every direction. And so, the story of that lonely bird who complained to God became a living testimony to the power of gratitude and perseverance. In the midst of life's adversities, the bird had found his inner strength and true happiness. May this story teach us to find gratitude in the little things, to persevere through trials and to keep the flame of hope alive even in the darkest moments. And may He always remind us that, even when we feel most alone and desperate, God is always with us, guiding and supporting us along the path of life. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, like it if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment and turn on notifications. In this way you will help us to always create new content for your personal and spiritual growth. See you soon.